Hello, lovelies. It's G here with Going Through Tarot. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I hope that you lovelies are doing quite well. I know that I have been taking a little break, at least from the channel, but yeah, life happens, right? Life happens. So I hope that you guys have been doing well. Ooh, got a good cut on Destiny. Ooh. So we have the Dreams of Gaia Oracle deck here. We're just gonna pull a quick message here. Okay. Okay. So Spirit is saying that they want to do a quick little, like three little groups. Ooh, love that. Okay. So we have group 1, 2, and 3. For group 1, we have the mother. For group 2, we have the 4 of Cups. And for group 3, we have the 2 of Swords. And for the overall energy, we have the 2 of Cups. Okay. Again, check for timestamps in the description down below. Okay, my lovelies, and I will see you down there. Bye. Hello, Pile 1. How are you doing? We're going to do a quick spread. You guys chose the mother. So I'm going to get to the obvious at first. For some of you, you might be having in some kind of conflict, or you might be dealing with your mother or a mother-in-law, or there's something here about being like a boss or being like an elder. For somebody here, I'm seeing like an older woman that works in a theater company that you could be involved with, that you might be having some kind of disputes with, maybe even like a ballet. Because I'm seeing a stage, and I'm seeing someone standing behind a stage, like behind the curtain. So for some of you, you could even be dealing with kind of like a helicopter parent, or you might be dealing with, you know, especially if you're like a new mom, congratulations if you are, and you're dealing with that phase where you're kind of just like every single little thing, you're like, baby, baby, you know, maybe it's your first child, or maybe you're just having some anxiety with this child. Spirit just wants to say you're going to make it through it. You're going to make it through it, and everything's going to be okay. Oh, yeah. The Page of Pentacles. The relationship that you have with this child is going to be so, it's going to be so nurturing. If it's not a child, it could be a project. Again, it could be that play, or it could be a dance, or it could be something that you're putting together. I know that you're really worried, 5 of Cups right now. You're really worried about how is it going to work out, what you're going to do, what you're going to be. You might also have been drawn to pile 2. I'm hearing, yeah. You're really in a lot of like pentacle, like growth energy. Because we have the Seneschal, which is the Knight of Pentacles. And you're really dealing right now with bucking up against the rules. Bucking up against either... Okay, so the Seneschal is about someone who has power, but they have power through like a king energy or through a queen energy. So someone above you has given you power. You could be being offered some kind of job in like middle management or something like that, or you're like an assistant to the boss or something, or you're working on this kind of feeling of like, where do I fit in? Where do my talents fit in? Where do I find my place where I'm not quite the boss, but yet other people are looking at me to make, you know, like I'm the mouthpiece is kind of what this card is about. This card is about being a mouthpiece to the boss, but it can also be about finding that you are really asking yourself, this card can be about blindly following the rules. And so you could be asking yourself, you could be dealing with a situation where somebody expects you to blindly follow their direction, like, oh, I'm doing this because I care about you or because I love you. But it's like, but it's a situation where it's like that doesn't really serve me. Or you could be the parent in the situation, and I could just being honest with you because I love you, you know that, but you might be kind of overstepping to where you're like, I just don't get why they want to do like this, or why they want to go by this name, or why they want to move here, or why they want to go there. It's because they're an adult and they're making decisions for their own life, right? And I know you might be sitting there saying, well, that's easy for you to say because it's not your child and you don't know the situation. And that's true. It is easier for me in that situation to sit here and tell you, oh, just relax, just let it be. I get that, right? I get that it's easy to release control, and it's easy, and it's not easy. It's not easy to release control, and it's not easy to be a person that's in a position to like make decisions for a lot of other people, and I really get that. Um, But also, some of you could be like, well, I want to do things differently than my parents did them. Maybe you're taking over the matriarchal or the patriarchal role in the family. Maybe you're hosting Christmas this time at your house, or the family get-togethers and things. All of that could be rearranging. It could be going a little left. But Spirit wants you to know, like, it might be a lot of chaos might have gone down. But I do feel like in the end, I'm hearing Spirit say you'll be happy that you stood up for your boundaries, and you'll be happy that you did what you thought was right, that you did what you thought was right, within respecting everybody else's boundaries as well, right? And if it is somebody that's asking you, to respect their boundaries, or asking you, and that if you're the person that's in that situation, or the people that's in that situation, Spirit is asking you to trust this person, to give your faith and to give your trust in this other person, and to understand that they understand that it's hard for things to change. They understand that it's hard for, and it's giving me the situation where they're like, I'm hosting Christmas and I want everything to go perfect, and nothing is really going perfect. Everything's going kind of wild and things like that. But just remember that your kids are going to remember the love and the attention and the effort that you did pour into it. Just remember to have a good time. You loosen up on the reins a little bit, have a good time, laugh, love your family. And that's the most important thing in this situation. And even if we are talking about events that are happening beyond the holidays, which I think we are for you, Spirit is saying, like, you have this really natural ability to balance out this kind of heaven and earth, and you are making this natural progression to the next stage, right? Because we have the Page of Pentacles here, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles here. You are making that natural progression upward, and it's gonna be okay. I just heard somebody say your mom is gonna be okay. Like, your mom is gonna be okay. They'll be fine. You guys will work it out, right? I'm not putting a time limit or anything on there, but again, the overall message was this Two of Cups, which is choose love, choose compassion, choose empathy, choose understanding. If Spirit has been asking you to stand up for yourself and speak for yourself in a kind and loving way, do that, because that's gonna pay out for you. You're gonna, you're gonna have this much more balanced energy coming into your life. You also could have been dealing with somebody who was very black and white thinking, like very like this way or that way. But Spirit is saying your world isn't black and white. It's got all this green energy in it, and it's very left and right. It's very up and down. It's very, heaven and earth. You're finding your way there, to that middle way, to that happy place, to that mix of what's good for the family and also what's healthy for you. So keep going down that road. Keep pushing yourself to experience new things, and keep, challenging yourself to step outside of your boundaries, and keep going forward. Oh yeah. You're going to feel you are going to feel very powerful, and you are going to make it out of this place. Some of you might have felt like you were dealing with a lot of dark energy, like dark stuff that happened to you in 2025. And oh, okay. Hello. um yeah, so you're making it through it, and there's a light. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Exactly. Oh my gosh, it's the Ace of Wands. There is a light at the end of this tunnel, and spirit, you see the spider there, spirit is weaving. Okay, trust and have faith that the steps forward that you are making, that the elevation, that the classes that you're taking, that the old ways that were based in trauma, that are based in control, that are based in my way or the highway, that you're breaking out of. You're questioning those rules. You're questioning your role, like that. There's something here about like leaving behind the shame of that, of being different, of being the curse breaker, of being the rule, of being the person who is pushing the boundaries of what has always been. And I can see here that you're a very loyal, and you're a quite, at your heart, you're a very like traditional person. It's this mix. I can feel how you're tottering back and forth, because in some ways you really love like older traditions, maybe even leaning more towards kind of like pagan traditions, more like being about the earth. This spring is gonna really pop off for you. You are gonna just bloom so beautiful when you can get out and you can start like putting your feet in the grass and your hands in the dirt, and you're really making headway. You are really making headway, and spirit just wants you to know that. Hold that understanding in your heart. You are making headway, and no matter how small the steps are, you are stepping forward. And I do think that you're making the right move to try something new, to try something different, to push yourself. And I want to put little like asterisks and little stuff, but the real thing is like to push yourself and to push others too. To push, but not to push others directly, like make them uncomfortable, but in a sense where you are like so authentically living in your truth that if it makes somebody else uncomfortable, that's their problem. You know, that's their issue. That's their problem. If I need to leave, if I need to go do something else, if I need to make a new tradition at my house that doesn't involve you because you're so controlling, or because I actually want to be happy for the holidays and not gritting my teeth the whole holidays. If you got married, or if you have a partner and you want to spend time, and you have a controlling parent or somebody in your house that's like throwing a because if you are in a place where you're kind of like, again, it's this energy here of like questioning authority, in the sense of like, the overall energy of it is like a person who's growing up, finding their voice, finding their, and they're making their own way in the world. They're making their own traditions, their own family legacy in the world. And you're doing it halfway apologetically, halfway unapologetically. And I understand that. You still want to be kind, you still want to be respectful, but respectfully stop. But respectfully, get out of my effing face. Respectfully, F you. Respectfully, me and my family are going over here. I don't care what you do. That kind of energy. And spirit saying yes. And if you are in this place where you feel like you're finding your way, trust yourself. It's gonna be okay. You are finding your way. And things might be moving slowly, okay? Things might be moving slowly. You see the turtle, but it's okay. You're grounding in your energy. You're finding your new way, right? It's like building habits and building new neural pathways in your brain, forming new. No, I don't do it that way. No, I don't react out of trauma anymore. I respond from a place of knowing who I am and knowing my emotions, and, from a more calm place. And I think just the more and more that you practice that, the better and better it's going to be. Because when you're first in that kind of like where you're learning that, no, actually, if you're learning how to stop people pleasing, you're learning how to stop bending over backwards, and you're learning how to say no, people are going to have an interesting reaction to that, especially if you have surrounded yourself with people who are used to you being people pleasers. They're going to be like, what do you mean no? What do you mean you're not running here and you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and I'm, and I can't bring all my stuff to you and you're not wrapping all my, what do you mean no? There is going to be a kind of a pushback, but I see you working through that, and Spirit says they want you to work on the guilt. You do not need to feel guilty. There are other people who are used to the old you, who was kind of just like 15 down on the clock, who's used to the old you, and they're like, why aren't you being the old you? Why aren't you being a pushover? Why aren't you just saying yes? And you're just like, because no is a full sentence. Because. And if they are in a position to where they are a person that is kind of like, oh, you can explain why, and they're going to be like, oh, okay, no, I totally understand that. Well, I appreciate you, like, okay, but if they're going to be the type of person that's like, well, that makes you so selfish, and you're this and you're that. No is a complete sentence. Just no. No, we're not coming over. No, we're not doing that. No, we're actually going out of town and going on vacation. No, we're actually doing this. You don't need to feel guilty about it. You are setting up new traditions and new family occurrences, and you're building a new path, and there's going to be resistance to that. But when you are that person that's setting you're blazing the trail. You're the one out there in the woods with the machete hacking down, it's a rough trail. It's not smooth, but you're making it an easier path. And every time you go down that trail and you clear out a little bit more and you clear a little bit more and you hack your way through there, it's going to get easier and easier. And you're also going to get more and more comfortable in that position. You're going to get more and more comfortable in that woods. You're going to be okay. All right. That's what I have for you, Pile One. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate you. Yeah. Lean into your routines, my love. Okay. Four of Swords. Lean into your routines. However routines fit you. It is very kind of Virgo energy. So it's kind of like releasing on the control side, but appreciating. Okay, I get up on Tuesday. I do this. On Wednesday, I do that. Setting out those long-term goals, making them into bite-sized steps. Taking those steps towards your goal every day. And just reminding yourself you're human, you're in process, you're learning, every day is a new day. And if today didn't go well, it's okay. You have tomorrow and tomorrow, you have time. So just, you're going to do great. You're going to be great. Whoever it is, they're going to love whatever this present. Somebody here is like worried about whether about somebody actually really loved the present. They do. They do love the present that you gave them. They just might not be a very, like, I don't know. They might not show it as much, but they do. And they do appreciate it. All right. Thank you guys so very much, Pile One. I appreciate you. I hope that you have a happy holiday season with your family. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you to your kind, loving ancestors, guardians, masters, and guides for being here and guiding you to get this. Okay. If you feel guided to get any of my other readings, you're free to watch those, of course. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and let me know how it resonated for you. I appreciate you, loving ever so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. How are you lovelies doing? We're pulling a quick message for you guys this holiday season, and we have here the Four of Cups. I feel like that some of you here have been doing some mirror work. I also feel like for some of you, you might have been dealing with healing from narcissistic trauma. I also feel like, it might get a little bit heavy, so I also feel like some of you, along with that, I feel like some of you are doing the work where some of you might have been listening to Tim Fletcher. Tim Fletcher has been doing been releasing some really great stuff, especially around shame. And I've been seeing that a lot in the collective, releasing a lot of shame. So possibly shame around your looks, shame around your face, shame around like past actions. And I also feel like people who might have pushed might have projected the way they feel about themselves, their own personal traumas, their own personal shames, and might have pushed that onto you, pushed that weight onto your shoulders when it really wasn't your issues or your weight to bear. And I also feel like some of you here, when you were growing up, you had some improper mirrors in your life. Children learn their foundation of self, of who we are, how we act, our personality, how we think that our energy fits into the world, and the energy that we're born into this world with excuse me, flows through our family, flows through the people. And if the people around us are traumatized themselves, if they're in survival mode themselves, if they are narcissistic or they are wounded themselves, they are not going to be proper mirrors of helping us to really find our authentic selves. And I feel like some of you here are in the process of probably past realizing there's also this deep sense of acceptance of self. Like, I don't have to define myself as someone who's damaged, who's scarred, who's gone through a bunch of stuff. Um, it's kind of like this kind of it's this process of not identifying as your emotions or as your past or as the things that you've gone through, instead of saying, saying I'm feeling sad, instead of saying I am sad. And it's a very subtle difference, but it changes your perspective, and it changes your kind of like monologue and your identification. So I feel like there's a lot of you here doing like identity work. You're doing shadow work. You're doing that deep work where you're really reaching inside and you're pulling out all of that gunk, all of the falsities, all of the lies, all of the old, outdated, energy that you have picked up while you have been being, if you believe in it, if you've been being incarnated here, and especially in the past like 2,000 years in this time of like shadow, because we really are in like a new dark ages. We have been, and we're, as we're going into the age of Aquarius, we're vibrating and starting to, go on the upper side of that dip. The energy kind of peaks, and then it, valleys down, and then we're kind of in the upturn. There's also the kind of upturn of grief that reminds me of the kind of all the different processes of grief. And I feel like a lot of you are close to acceptance, which is the last stage of grief. I feel like you're looking in the mirror and you're saying like, oh, I'm really recognizing and realizing that yeah, there is this kind of energy here of like, I don't have to be ashamed of who I am, or I don't have to be ashamed of what I've went through or what I have experienced, because it really just weighs me down. And there is this kind of sense here of, and it's not like it's not like a delusional or kind of like avoidant. It's kind of it's really the opposite. It's maybe some of you are recovering from that kind of avoidant attachment styles, or you're recovering from codependency, and you're kind of in the process where you're actually really looking in the mirror and it looks like a clear reflection for the first time, and you're actually really getting down to like the really nitty gritty. And some of you too, the dragon of abundance showed itself here. So for some of you, you definitely are doing like some work with some powerful ancestors, or some powerful deities that are here helping you, some powerful energies. Some of you are working here with dragon energy. Some of you are here are working with perhaps some Syrian or Palladian energy as well. And it's really helping you. This energy is really helping you to tap in and to remember who you truly are, to remember who you were before all these layers of lifetimes, all these layers of trauma, all these layers of projection, of living in living in this matrix and following the rules. And it's this kind of breaking out of that system, breaking out of this kind of like stupor energy, and actually being able to have a clear vision of yourself and of the world. And you are realigning. Spirit is helping you to realign with a higher perspective. I absolutely love that. Yeah. 7 of Cups, you are getting into this flow state. Again, look, right? Like her eyes are kind of closed, but her third eye is open. So it's kind of less focusing on the 3D and like your family and your body and like the thing, and kind of realigning yourself with that higher thinking. Even here in the mirror, both of the people, it's like 2 side profiles. So it looks like 2 eyes closed, 1 eye open, and it's the third eye, even there in that mirror. And then it's the same here with this one. So you're really starting to see yourself, to see your journey, to see the things that you've gone through as temporary is what I want to say. It's temporary. It's kind of this energy. It's this energy of, I'm more than just a body. I'm a, I'm an infinite soul. I'm an infinite soul, and I don't have to identify so heavily with the trauma or with the drama or with the difficulties that this life has offered me. Or even for some of you, because there's a lot of like higher vibrational energy, even some of you, it's like all my incarnations here on earth, have kind of, it's like a heaviness, that's kind of like being lifted, or that it's kind of like your perspective on it. Like, it doesn't have to feel so heavy, especially if you incarnate from a much higher realm. For some of you, could identify as coming from maybe like the fifth, sixth, seventh dimension, something higher up, and then you came down here, and you incarnated here, and the energy is it's heavier. It's heavier, and it's dense, and it's got a higher density, and it's harder to process and to think with a clear picture coming from your higher mind, a clear voice coming from your higher mind. And I think that a lot of you are awakening to that, and that you are hearing that voice of your higher mind, of your intuition, of your higher self, that you are cleansing out that pathway and that connection. Some of you might might have even been clearing out something that you might identify as like some kind of like spiritual psychosis. It's like everything like that is on a scale, and it definitely is on the milder side of it. And on the milder side of it can just be where you spent, like, your third eye, your intuition is a little bit more blocked because you're so weighed down. You could have been dealing with sicknesses, illness in your body. It even could be the fact that you were consuming way too much like TV, or that you were consuming too much social media, and you were finding yourself doom scrolling way too much, and you were like, okay, I gotta put this down. I gotta meditate a little bit more. I gotta zone out of this a little bit, in a healthy way, where I'm kind of pulling myself up to something different. Sorry, you guys. Hey, sorry about that, y'all. So yeah, I think that you are learning how to tell your own story. Describe. You, some of you might even be connecting with Toth. Okay. See that? Like, yeah, definitely. Like this kind of like influx of knowledge. I think that Spirit is preparing you for an influx of knowledge with the shadow work that they're doing right now with you. They're preparing you to have a clear vision, so that when you receive these downloads or this knowledge or this direction, it can come from a very pure, high vibrational place that is going to resonate not only with you but with others. And I see this bee down here at the bottom, and they're showing me like how you can take like a queen bee from a nest and like move it. That's what they're showing me. I don't know enough about bees to know like what happens to the original hive, but it's kind of this energy of like, well, maybe it's more like termites. I was watching this random short about termites, and I was felt like really guided to watch it. And I was watching, and it was talking about how that the termite queen controls the whole colony through releasing certain pheromones through her whatever, her skin or her orifices or whatever, releasing certain pheromones anyway. And that there is this certain pheromone that she releases, and there's certain it and it guides the other workers through, like, she'll release a certain pheromone and it'll make the workers start eating more and like saving up calories. And then like she'll release another pheromone and it'll make them grow wings. It'll be their pheromone release to start growing wings. And then she'll release another pheromone that makes them pair up, and then those pairs will fly off and go and start a new colony. And so that's what it's reminding me of. It's reminding me of you. It's almost like getting your wings, or like getting officiate, like you're like becoming this mouthpiece. Yeah, it's giving me like this energy of you becoming this mouthpiece for spirit, or this mouthpiece for like a mission. We won't get too much into that because spirit's like, you know what we're talking about, right? I know that you know. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're either on the verge of coming into the awareness of this, or this is not your pile, pick something else. But you are on this, they're kind of tweaking your perspective and your ability of perception, like your abilities to perceive things very clearly outside of the false mirrors that you were given in your childhood or in your early developmental stages, or that you have been trying to overcome for the last couple of lifetimes. Especially around the shadow work that you're doing right now, it's really powerful. It's very, very powerful. And it's putting you into alignment with some very powerful guides, like very, very powerful. Yeah. Like big, big energy. Yeah. Some of you might be being guided to travel, whether that be travel in like a spirit sense, or if it's actually like a physical travel. I do think that this travel will happen inward first, and then it will manifest as you traveling in the actual 3D world, like traveling even transcontinental, I'm hearing. So maybe even like moving to the other side of the country or the province or wherever you live. It could even be you going to a completely different country or a completely different state or a completely different province, or but I'm seeing this upcoming shift, and it's like spirit is preparing you for this. Yeah. Again, all of the animals that are in here are all, besides the fish, which also represent abundance, but all the other animals, and the fish also represents movement, and all the other animals that are in here, even here we have a fly right there, and then we have um what are those called? They're kind of like Egyptian, I can't remember. They kind of look like cranes. But even like the bee and the cranes and the wings, it's giving me like, again, it's like that pheromone is being released and they're saying, fly, take that leap of faith. You're being uncaged, right? Your eyes are open. Your eyes are open and you're being released. You see where you are now, and you know what you're being shown the path to exit, right? They are showing you the steps. They might be coming in little increments. Again, I'm going back to that story of the queen releasing those certain pheromones at certain points. So it's kind of like spirit is releasing certain things, and certain things are coming up to the surface for you to heal, for you to face, and there's also this energy of like movement. So movement not only within like your emotional body, but also within your physical body as well. Up your water content, spirit wants to say. And spirit is saying here that they are really working with you really closely right now. Again, they're working with you so closely, and they're guiding you towards a place of sincere understanding, authenticity, speaking with authenticity, moving with authenticity. Yeah, there's a lot of you might be being guided down like a kind of like a shamanistic kind of path. I definitely see that here for you. If you were already getting the hints to kind of go that way, some of you might be being guided to being some kind of shamanistic healers. Yeah. Ooh, look at that. You're going on the hero's journey. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh, look at you. You have all the elements now. You have the Queen of Earth out here too. We have water, air, fire, and water. Well, and earth. Earth, air, fire, and water. Oh, yeah. Doing that magician work. Come on now. Yeah. There is such a deep sense of peace coming to you. And Spirit wants you to know that, especially because for a lot of you, peace has been hard to come by in this life. A deep sense of acceptance and peace and understanding. And when there is this internal peace and this internal regulation, it's way easier to handle things coming at you from the outside. When you are looking away from those false mirrors and you are seeing the truth, it's way easier to handle. It's way easier to say, oh no, that's your emotion, not mine. Oh no, those are your fears, not mine. Oh, those are your wants, not mine. Yeah, there's this deep sense of being untethered from like a heavy weight that was like weighing on your shoulders or weighing on your past. And there was something here about like somehow that heavy weight was tied to some kind of like shame of self or some kind of misunderstanding or feelings of unworthiness of stepping into a certain place or a certain frequency or a certain purpose because of these false mirrors. And Spirit's like, okay, well, we needed you to see that these were false mirrors, that these were false, that you were getting a distorted, that you were working in the past from a distorted sense of self, and that you're doing much better now to see yourself and to see others clearly. Yeah, again, there's this energy of like this weight, and you are here balancing out that weight. Yeah, you're here finding that balance. Two of Pentacles. Yeah. And when you release that burden that's not yours to carry, this kind of feeling, it's like, it's almost this feeling of like having to be perfect or having to have never made a mistake. And there's this kind of energy here of like, you're more than worthy, even if you've gone down some not so nice paths, or you've made some selfish decisions, or some decisions based in emotion or based in trauma. It's like, forgive yourself. There's some kind of deep like energy here of working through forgiving yourself, forgiving others, forgiving the life circumstances, and not letting it be like this weight that you feel like you have to carry around with you all the time. And there's this kind of energy here of like needing to always prove yourself, or needing to always, go above and beyond, or needing to always push in an unhealthy way. Yeah. Ooh, look at that knowledge. I knew the magician energy was here. So I think here, yeah, okay, Spirit wants me to share that. I think here that you are working through some kind of energy where you failed in the past and it made you feel like you were unworthy. You're working through this kind of energy of like, I've been in this position before, or I've had to maintain this level of power, this level, and I failed in the past. And Spirit is saying, what you don't get is that you have been through and you have learned so much more. It's actually like this energy kind of like, you were, no offense, but you were quite ignorant, or you were quite unawakened, or you were quite in your ego in the past, and you are not that person anymore. And no matter how much you might be hard on yourself and think, no, I haven't changed, you have. You've changed so much more than you even realize. So give yourself the credit for that. And there's the sense of here of, because you know better, you will do better. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Yeah. You are overcoming some kind of, this isn't the Hierophant, but you're overcoming some kind of old energy here. Yeah. Again, yeah, trust yourself. Ah, come on. Wisdom. Go inside, trust yourself. Don't be scared. You are so much. Spirit wants to say that you don't understand how, because there's kind of this sense here of putting a past version of yourself up on a pedestal in some type of way. Like I was stronger, or I was better, or I was braver. And it's like, actually, no. Even though you might have a more, you might be more, I don't know, it's like a more humble upbringing now, or more humble surroundings or something like that. There's something here about like, trust us, you've changed a lot. You're so much more wise than you were back then. And when you're given that same task, when you meet that same struggle, you will overcome it. For a lot of you, you don't realize you already have. You're already doing better than you were back then. Just in your mentality, just in your empathy, just in your compassion, just in the way that you're like doing the work. You just need to realize that you're different, that you're changed. You're so worried that the past is going to repeat itself, that Spirit is saying like it already can't repeat itself the way that it did in the past, because you're already doing so much better. You're already so much more mature, or you're already so much more in a better frequency than you were back then. So it's already automatically going to be different in that way. And you just have to learn how to really trust yourself. Yeah. How to gain your independence from this kind of feeling that because you messed up in the past, you're not worthy now, and that's just not true. The Spirit didn't think you were worthy or you were ready for this purpose, they wouldn't have given it to you. So trust them. Trust them if you don't trust yourself. Trust them. Come on. They want you to weigh out this understanding, and what it really is that's holding you back. It's not your past, it's your thought process of you feeling like you're still that person that you were in the past, but you're not. And the work that you're already putting in is going to give birth to this much more like sincere version. It's kind of almost like, well, I'm afraid to get power. I'm afraid to step into this position because what if I do like I did in the past? And Spirit's like, you are so different than you were in the past. I don't think that's something. It's not something that you have to worry about as much as you think that you do. Trust and believe in yourself. And just the fact that you are worried that you might go back there, the fact that you identified that was a negative way of, that was like an unhealthy way of being, that you were being toxic, that you weren't being fair, that you weren't being compassionate, just you looking back and being able to tell that means that you have grown. Because if you hadn't grown, you'd look to the past and you'd be like, yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with the way that I acted. I feel like a healthy amount of guilt has turned into toxic shame within your soul, or within, you're holding on to this toxic shame of, I am a bad person. And I really think the truth is you might have done a bad thing. You did a bad thing, but that doesn't mean that you are a bad person. Because you have the want and the will and the knowledge, and and you're turning that knowledge into wisdom and turning it into action. So you're going to be okay. But I need to go because your reading's already running much longer. So I need to go. Ooh, your reading ran way longer. But thank you guys so much for being here with me. I really appreciate you guys ever so much. And I will see you lovelies in the next one, okay? Thank you to your angels, spirits, guardians, ancestors, masters, and guides for guiding you through this energy, and guiding you here to this reading. Like, share, subscribe. Do the YouTube things. Comment down below if you feel like this resonated for you. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful, happy holiday season with your friends, with your family, or just with yourself. You are a lovely being, and I'm so happy that we made it around the world again another year. So I will see you lovelies, okay, in the next one. Bye! Hello, Pile 3. You guys chose this, which is the Two of Swords, I'm pretty sure. Some of you guys might be Libras, You guys definitely have some heavy hitters, some angelic presences. Definitely feeling like Michael and Gabriel here, maybe even like Metatron. Hmm. You guys are working really hard on balancing your light and shadow aspects, and I feel like you're pretty balanced. You're pretty there. Yeah, I'm hearing it's the next cycle. So you're coming into the next cycle. Somebody's saying here something about being a patron, like being some kind of patron of somebody or something. I don't know, maybe you follow somebody on Patreon, maybe you have a Patreon. Or maybe there is like a particular like spiritual shop or bookshop or something that you patronize frequently. Or maybe like a restaurant that you patronize frequently. There's somebody there. I feel like you're gonna meet somebody at this place. Somebody. Hello? I think that you're coming into the frequency of love for sure. I think you're. Oh, yeah. Y'all. 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 Ace of Cups. The love card. If the union card came out, I'd flip it. I flip this table. I'm not gonna flip this table, but ooh, the Ace of Pentacles is back there too. Mm-hmm. This really lovely, like grounded energy. I feel like you're embodying and coming into this really lovely, like grounded energy. Oh, hello. And I feel like you're balancing out this any kind of like fears or sadness that you might be having. But I do think that there is a side of you. Yeah. It's like, yeah. On one side of you, it's like, it is like this, where it's like light and bright and white, and then like shadow on one side, on the other side. It's this energy of 5 of Cups on one side of your scales, or on one side of the scale for you. And on the other side of the scale, it's like pure love, Ace of Cups, pure love, new love energy, new foundational energy. Brand new starts, new seeds being planted and being grown. For some of you, you might feel like it's this very much so like in public, you feel very like happy and bright, but sometimes it's like, you know, you go behind doors, or you're in your room alone, or you're laying in bed at night in a quiet moment, and the tears come, right? And sadness comes. And I feel like for some of you, you're wondering like, okay, when is it gonna stop? When is this? I'm gonna stop having these random moments of like sadness and tears, and you know, when am I gonna stop having that? And when is it gonna be just happy all the time? And I feel like Spirit is here to tell you like, don't lean too much into like this kind of toxic or this kind of like dreamy sense of it being happy all the time. But I do understand that it feels very like one or the other. You feel like either like super happy, jolly, like ha 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 ha, ha, or you're like bawling, crying, like no, just numb, just that kind of energy. So I can see how it's just like kind of energy for you, and that can be kind of hard. Yeah, it's this very like heaven earth. It's this very like two living in the middle of two worlds kind of energy here. And Spirit says they understand that it can be really hard to feel this way, but this is where you are meant to be at this time, because there is... Spirit is saying there's something coming to skip the sale, skip the sales. Okay. Let that resonate if it does. What I was trying to say is tip the scales. For some of you, the whole like skip the sales things, for some reason I saw that scene in from like the old Disney movie Pocahontas, like the original one, where she climbs up into the tree and she's like, oh, something is coming, and it's like, oh, it's strange clouds, and she goes up there and she sees the sails of sailboats, you know, and Mother Willow was like, well, what do you see? And she's like, strange clouds, like, I don't know what to describe this, what this is, and it's something new. Yeah, now I'm hearing that just around the river band song, that river bend song. Yeah, I feel like this is something that's gonna shake you up. This is something that might loosen up your foundations a little bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a bunch of fire energy coming in here. There's a bunch of fire energy coming in here to really shake some stuff up for you. Again, I see it's good that you are so grounded in your fire energy or in like your masculine energy. It's really good because I see you have a really healthy sacral chakra and solar plexus chakra. You have a really open heart chakra and an open third eye chakra. You have like these beautiful foundation here. Like look how like he's so planted in his foundation. The whole bottom half of his body is like a tree stump. But there's something here coming in to shake that up and to get you moving again, to get you into this. Yeah, it's almost here like something like you've been the vessel, right? With this ace of cups here. Again, both of these beings right here are like holding this kind of like heart energy here, right? The unfolding rose, and it's like you've been holding the space here, holding this space, and it's like, yeah, like it's like your wait is over. And that's what I was saying, that's what I was getting around to with the Pocahontas thing, where it's like that scene, that particular scene always reminds me of the Three of Wands, where it's like you're sitting there at the shore and you're waiting to see the sails of the sailboats coming into harbor, so that you know that something that you have been waiting for is coming in. And so that's what Spirit is saying. Something that you have been waiting for is coming to pass. It's coming in. You're seeing the tops of the sailboats coming over the horizon and sailing in, and you're like, oh my God, it's finally here. Like this thing that I have been waiting for, it's finally here. And there is this kind of like dance energy. There's this awakening energy here. And maybe this is more because see how she has like her hands, it really looks like she's praying. And see how those sunbeams are like shining down on her? And it's kind of like this energy of like your wish coming true. Like a wish here is coming true for you. King of Fire. Yeah. Something is about to escalate and shoot you into this kind of King of Fire energy. It's really waking up your masculine energy. And it's almost like Spirit is saying like, because you're going to got to be like, what, Spirit? Because Spirit was like, ground in, deep roots. And you're like, okay, I've been grounding into my body. I've really been in my body. I've been in my 3D life. I've really been grounding in those roots. And then Spirit's like, okay, now earthquake, shake it up. And you're like, Spirit, what? And they're like, that's great. Now uproot your roots. And you're like, what? But and I think you might have that twinge of frustration, but I think that it's going to be more like excitement. It's kind of like, it's like Spirit has been like, okay, so so they want you to really ground in. They want you to ground in. They want you to, get your health, get your body, get your finances as healthy and as good and as peaked as you can, because things are about to shift and change. So it's kind of like you've been working really hard, saving up money, you know, closing out old like karmic cycles, coming, you know, like really purging out a lot of stuff. And now you're this beautiful vessel that's just ready for spirit to just like pour into. And there's something here about that pouring in that is going to like uproot you and like shoot you out there into the world. And it's kind of like you're like, I don't know what I'm getting ready for, but I'm getting ready. And then suddenly spirit's like, okay, now it's time to move across the country. And you're like, well, guess what? I'm ready. You know, it might be a little bit like, what? But it's like, but I have my finances in order. I have my health in order. I have my mental health in order. I have all this stuff. I've been closing out ends. And it's like, aha, this is what spirit has been preparing me for. Spirit has been just telling me to prepare, keep my head down, do my work, do my thing. Focus, focus. You know, focus on the next step, focus on the next thing. And it's kind of like, your answer will come, your answer will come, your answer will come. Well, your answer's coming. And this answer, or this, you know, this thing here is like your next stage, your next soulmate, your next step forward. Some of y'all are not ready to hear that. My God, let go of my throat chakra. Goodness gracious. Because it's this, yeah. You've been preparing this vessel. Now Spirit's going to fill it up. Ooh, 10 of Cups. Come on now. Fill it up to the brim. You have been strengthening and just preparing this space, preparing this cup. Whatever this space that you've been preparing, right? You've been emptying out old things. You've been making room for that new thing. That new thing you've been wishing for to come into your life. Well, guess what? It's here. 10 of Cups. Let's go. On the back of the deck again. Union. Come on, mamas. You know what it is. You know what it is. Oh, yeah. Ooh. You got some high bands looking your way, huh? Yeah, it's giving destiny. It really is. It's giving destined meeting, destined place, destined time. Oh yeah, it really is. Oh yeah. Spirit says they know. They've been there. They know that it's been hard. They know that you've been asking like when is it my time, Spirit? Like I'm just gonna keep my head down and keep doing what I need to do, but like sometimes I just break down and sometimes I feel weak and sometimes it feels like too much and just oh. But you've really been getting ready and Spirit sees that. Spirit sees you getting ready, sees you, you know, sees you preparing this space. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you. Spirit is so proud of you. I am so proud of you. You're just opening, especially your heart space. You have been working on that so much and just like softening in it and, you know, strengthening the walls, but just like softening that space and just being like, just really trying to stand in like this really beautiful, like working really strongly with kind of like that true divine masculine energy here to like hold space in this world. Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, you've been working so hard. Oh my gosh. You have. You've been working so hard. And I see here that you've been being like really careful with like your sacred energy and that you've really been working on yourself, strengthening yourself. Oh my gosh, yes. King of Cups. Come on now. Somebody's ready, huh? You ready for love? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's good for you. Good for you. Yeah, this has been a long journey, huh? Yeah, it's really been a long journey. But you've made your way here. Oh, yeah, you've really been doing some really beautiful, like, inner child healing work. I love to see it. You've been doing your shadow work and your inner child healing work, and you've been bringing yourself to a much more like open and vulnerable like state, like sense of being in yourself. And Spirit says it doesn't have to be 100% because there's something here about like you're so hard on yourself. My gosh, you've been working so hard and you're still so hard on yourself. Take it easy. It's okay. You're doing good. You're doing really, really good. Hmm. I think it's hard for you to really admit to yourself like how you might have been dealing with a past version of yourself that had this really rigid definition of what it meant to be like in your masculine energy. And I feel like you were coming to a place where that is softening and you're like, actually, this feels more natural to me. It feels more natural to be in this place of having this like soft, more kinder, more empathetic, more understanding heart space within myself. Maybe you were a quite like sensitive child and then you were told by the world, like, oh, man up or get tough or the world's not going to take it easy on you. It's going to beat on you and it's going to be hard. And so you learned to put up that hard shell and put up that hard demeanor and act tough and act strong. And you've been on this really long journey of discovering what feels like a much more balanced and true divine masculine energy. Okay. 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 We need as many of y'all out there as we can get, okay? I feel your anxiety and it's because you feel on the verge. You feel this on the verge energy. Hmm. I feel it. Yeah. Four sets. Unfortunately, I can't show you this card that's showing itself to me because it's too risque. Okay, she a little too. Ooh, maybe I can show it to you like that. she, but it's the integrity card. Oh yeah. So I feel like you're going to meet a quite exciting person, and I feel like this person there is this kind of energy within this person of just being true to who they are, being very open, being very, or whoever. If it's silly, if it's serious, this person feels much more kind of like airy fairy than you do. I can't say all the things. I can't say all the things. Oh my lord. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I think that you are gonna see a kinship. Oh hey. I think you're gonna see a kinship in this person, a friendship, a kinship, a likeness. This person is going to remind you of yourself. Uh, there's also this kind of energy of it's like a part of yourself that at one point you felt it was lost or that you've been trying really hard to rediscover or to bring back in to yourself, to resurrect within yourself. Yeah, I definitely see that. And I do think that this person will be kind of triggering because they're going to mirror something. They're going to mirror some They are gonna mirror. I feel like at first, this person might bring out some insecurities within you, but I feel like you are ready to have like a good, healthy response to those things, to that type of triggering, and that you're ready to be like, ah, this person is triggering me because they're bringing up this and I need to work on that. And it's not so much like, what's this person's problem? You know, and it's more like, I see. The counselor, yeah. The counselor. Yeah. Again, that integrity card is showing itself again. I also think that it's going to be kind of triggering because I feel like you are a person that has like a high perspective and a high perception, and I feel like there's going to be this kind of there's this kind of energy of like, you're like me. You're like me. Maybe you and this person are from a similar soul pod. Maybe you're soulmates again, like I was saying. Maybe you're from a similar like star system or something like that. There's this kind of, you're like me, and I feel like this person is very much so like locked on. But this person has very intense eyes, and I think this person, you know, it's kind of like, oh. People, I'm usually the one making other people feel like this, making other people feel like I can see into your soul, like very like penetrative gaze, like very um yeah. I really do think that you are at the place to see, right? You are here at this place where you're having this foundation, having this Ace of Cups that is building up to this Ten of Cups. And I really feel like this is a person that's really going to help you get into alignment with that. Again, it's kind of like a sense here of like, this person has a lesson to teach you, you have a lesson to teach this person, but I don't feel like it's like the lessons of your past where you were being taught through pain or loss or things like. It feels more just like, yeah, I see. Oh, excuse me. I see you and this person sitting in a lot of like quiet meditation, a lot of contemplative energy. It's like a really deep energy. Yeah. Okay, Spirit saying stop. So, okay, I'll stop. This was really interesting. I love feeling you guys' energy because you guys are such interesting people. The people that get drawn to these readings, and you guys are always in. I like to do like the different piles like this because it shows me where my collective, like the different energy groups within my collective, and yeah, yeah, yeah. This is my Three of Cups card. But anytime, I'm sorry about my cat. She is like going after my dog because she wants love from her. She's like, sit down and love me. My cat is like in love with my dog. She loves her so much. She's like, I love my big sister. Why don't you love on her, huh? Get some lovies from her. Oh, that's so sweet. Y'all are so sweet, my girls. But yeah, there is this energy here. And yeah, there's sweetness. There's sweetness here. This feels like something that starts off like very fiery that kind of turns into more like watery energy. It's more like emotion based and it turns more, I don't know, yeah. Like again, I said I saw you here and it's like this person's coming in and lighting that fire. And you're like, ooh, ooh, like let me get up, let me move around. Yeah. And I definitely see that. I definitely see this like kinship between you and this person and this kind of working together to uplift each other. That's beautiful. Yeah. And I do think there is this energy here of helping each other face these light and these shadow aspects within each other. And I definitely think there will be that kind of relationship with this energy in you, whether it's a person, a thing, a course, or whatever it is. It definitely feels like soulmate energy. And it is kind of this energy of like, you're going to see both. You're going to see both the light and the shadow aspects of this person. And I think this person will also be able to see and bring out the light and shadow aspects within yourself as well. Yeah. Oh, yep. Like, yep. So that reminds me of y'all's card. I don't know where. I've already put it up. But yeah, it feels like two. It feels like a feminine energy here and a masculine energy here that I've worked here. Regardless of what bodies you're incarnated in or whatever, like it does feel like this feminine and masculine energy that has both worked, and they're both seeing each other, both of each other's sides in this situation. And I do think it's a situation here where it'll be bringing balance, right? Like this person's light aspects will bring balance to your shadow. Your light aspects will bring balance to their shadow. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, thank you guys so very much for being here with me today. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and let me know how this resonated for you. Thank you to your angels, spirits, guardians, ancestors, masters, and guides for guiding you here. I hope this information gave you the love, light, or clarity that you were looking for. I really appreciate you guys ever so much. Hope that you're having a happy holiday season with your friends and family, or just by yourself. Either way, thank you for spending this little bit of time with me, and I really appreciate you guys whenever you find this. I hope that you are blessed and full of potential and new beginnings, and that you act on those. Okay, I really appreciate you guys so very, very much. Mwah! I will see you lovelies in the next one. Bye. Say bye. Say bye.